Multiverses. Trapped in the multiverse with no way out, two strangers must fight for their survival. Hard-hitting brawls, clashing steel, and a whirlwind journey through different worlds, Multiverses is a funny yet heart-wrenching ride that explores our relationship with technology and each other. I'm now joined in the studio live with Jackie and Nathania, both from Affair of Honor. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Well, we're so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm glad you found the place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we did.
Easy.
I did say that right? Multiverses?
Yes.
Okay, just as I started talking, I was like, am I getting this wrong?
Oh my gosh, no, honestly, people are like multiverse, which is totally fine. Again, it's like a nice play on words and the way that it's spelled. So it's okay. It's a great conversation starter.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, a good way to break the ice.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a pretty interesting show. Now, just before we went live, we were talking about how we had a slight, what's the right word, connection or coincidence through Halifax and connection through a record label, Diminished Fifth Records.
That's right. I have my brother, Eric Hanlon, was the lead singer for Blackmore. Yeah. Who's labeled with Diminished Fifth there. And I know they did lots of tours around the East Coast and into Quebec and stuff for many, many years. So.
And sometimes they'll still pop up and do shows.
That's true. Every now and then, as soon as they can, between their family lives and, you know.
Yeah.
But, no, excited to come back out here as another Hanlon, returning back home to do something also kind of like artsy, but like violent in like a different way.
Yeah, pretty metal. So let's spend the whole interview talking about your brother.
Okay. Honestly, it's how I grew up.
I kind of got, isn't that always the way? Yeah.
Under the shadow of a brother.
Yeah. My brother was like captain of the high school hockey team. So I can relate.
My sympathies.
Oh, especially hockey out here. Oh, man, that shadow was a tall one.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's awesome. So now you're based in Vancouver, both of you, and you moved out there about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you're back out here for Fringe. Have you been to the Fringe out here before?
This is our first time.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're very excited. So we've been on the Fringe circuit for quite a bit. And I'm actually originally from Edmonton, so it's actually easier for us to bring shows to Edmonton. But this is actually quite a special show just because this is the first time we're bringing something to the East Coast, period. And we started the company back in 2016.
Yep.
Yeah, as a duo. And then when we started doing productions, it was 2017. And so Jackie's mom has only seen one show. She flew out and saw a show. She saw our first new work called Playthings, which was about the great gods of war fighting, but they're using two mortal souls like as in their own like game of Mortal Kombat, which is really cool during the Trojan War. So it's a very fun, weird show. But then we haven't. Like Jackie's family, who is still here, so like Papa John, her nephew now is big enough to like even see the shows, and Eric hasn't seen one of her shows yet, so we're really excited to bring Jackie back and to actually be able to share with her family. So
that's awesome. So sorry, forgive me, maybe you mentioned it, but are you playing in Halifax too, the Halifax Fringe as well?
We are,
Okay. So that's awesome, man. That's exciting. And like the description when I was reading through it, it also mentions there's stage combat involved. Loud sounds, including gunshots, loss and war, themes of grief. You're a heavy metal family, I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give me a little bit more of like what can we expect without giving too much away? Yeah.
Again, like we really hope that people come to have a good time. Like we always talk about our work, that it's if you've kind of got people who are tentative to like, hey, come to a theater show. And they might be like, well, they're just going to stand and speak in big words and I'm not going to understand it. We're the exact opposite of that. We're loud,
of theater.
We're silly, we move really quickly. The whole point of this show is that we want to kind of move fast and we're not sitting on things very long.
We're trying to emulate doom scrolling, basically. Just like when you kind of get into that, like, you just can go on your phone.
Next thing. Didn't matter that you didn't finish the video. Next one. No, I don't like this one.
Just kind
of the shorts are too long. You're
Truly. It's kind of a comment on that.
You didn't get me in the first 3 seconds. No.
And the big one for us is just mostly like always trying to create some adventure stories. So when we created the company, we both met doing stage combat. And one of the things, especially when we got into the higher levels, I remember we had really good friends. When you start to fight, you create this camaraderie. And at the advanced level, someone looked at us and was like, damn, he's like, this is the only time I'm going to be able to do stage combat at this level. And we're fight directors all over the country. And that's one of the things sometimes it's like we will get some actors most of the time who've never picked up a sword before. And so we're trying to always work at that level, and if we're lucky enough to get people who have more experience, we get to get more like complicated fights. So we started being like, oh, cool. Like, well, we would love to do more fights.
Yeah.
With what we're learning.
Training. Let's
put it on stage. And so we spent a very sad day at the library trying to find any shows that had women at the forefront. You can find many shows with people.
Oh, the dudes. You get Three Musketeers. You get Robin Hood. You get all the
cool stuff, right? Yeah, but again, we didn't want to gender bend them. We were trying to find stuff, and all we could find was like women getting like pushed and slapped around. And so we were like, well, this is like, this is a little sad. But there is a small canon of plays. The first playwright we worked with was called, he's called Qui Nguyen. He's really prolific in New York, and now he's writing for like Marvel, and he was a co-writer on Raya the Last Dragon. Okay. But he has a company called Vampire Cowboys, and they do only fight-based theater. And the first show we pulled from their canon was Soul Samurai, and it was about a vampire, like a vampire slayer, and she's just trying to avenge the death of her lover, and just
very specifically a Filipino vampire slayer, which I don't know how many stories of those there are.
No, I'm Filipino. If you can't see us, but I'm Filipino. It's kind of hard to find shows, even just for people who look like me. And
so just to have that like instant representation and something that we could both jump into was super inspiring for our first show that we got to do. And then we were like, all right, well now they've got their stuff, but we're also interested in kind of telling our own stories. So let's start writing our own works as well. And that's what Multiverses is. It's our second original piece.
It's our second original baby that literally we birthed it in 30 days. Like we did it like right before Edmonton Fringe, put it on the stage, got we do a lot by like listening to the audience and figuring out, oh, this worked, this didn't work.
That wasn't funny. No one laughed.
And then we got another chance to do it at the Revolver Festival back home. Gave us another chance to like finally get more into the story, relook at the stage and movement design.
That's true. We changed the plot a little bit.
Yeah, and then we did come back again, and now when we're here, like the East Coast is getting a whole new iteration. Yep. They're getting a whole new universe, because again, like you're like, I think the question as we went down this rabbit hole is like, what is the show about? It's an adventure show. Yeah. There's like, you're going to jump from universe to universe, and you're going to figure out how these two strangers like try to get out of this.
It's okay if you're a little bit confused as you're watching. I promise it makes sense by the end.
Hopefully. As playwrights, you're like, hopefully.
You'll get it.
Without spoon feeding you too much. The audience does so much.
Well, okay, so I do have quite a few questions all of a sudden, because like fight director and stage combat. How does someone get into fight directing? And I know multi-stage questions are a little tricky, but
of course.
So when you say fight director versus like being a director, like what's going on there?
That's great.
We
Very question.
both, and again, like Nathania mentioned, we met doing stage combat training. We're both certified with an organization called Fight Directors Canada.
It's a nationally recognized organization that trains actors to do stage combat. So at the basic level, you get to learn how to use your like unarmed, so your hands and feet, and then you get to work with a staff. Either it could be like a 4-foot or a 6-foot staff, and then you get to learn how to work your first single sword. So you get to learn your basic parries, all the things that kind of work there.
Swashbuckly pirate style stuff.
And then after that, you get to start to work into different kind of fundamentals, like learning how to use both hands, so dual wielding, starting to learn things like two-handed swords, different types of martial arts. And then it just gets, like there's 3 levels. So you go basic, intermediate, advanced, and they just kind of, your skill level goes through those tiers.
You progress through the concepts, and as you learn, and then the certifications can only teach you so much. So there's a lot that we also just were like, hey, this wasn't something that we taught, but let's like pick up this weapon and try to figure out how it works and how we can use it safely in stage combat. Because we have a couple martial instructors that are like, oh yeah, well you just get out of the way, and we're like, okay, well we need to safety that for actors.
Yes.
So coming back, we met during our Fight Director Canada training, and then as we kind of came up through the levels. In Vancouver at the time, there were only a handful of people that were doing fight direction work. So we kind of started coming in for some smaller stuff where people needed help, just like safely getting to the ground. Because so often actors
are just told to
just do it, just fall, or they're willing, like, yeah, I'll just go for it. But the rehearsal period is so short. It's usually like 3 weeks for like a professional production.
And then your run is like, maybe if you're lucky to get a professional contract, you'll probably
be like
3 months, a month to 3 months. So it's just like, if you're hitting the floor wrong, 40 times, like
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And we've
met a lot of older artists who have had bad experiences with stage combat, or they've hurt themselves in a show just because they didn't get a lot of time with it. So what we do when we go in as fight directors is we're sharing our skills as quickly as we can, because as we mentioned, it's a pretty tight timeline. But just to show them how they can be safe, why they will be safe, how they should understand why they're safe, and how to communicate when something's going wrong.
We always say your safety is never a fluke. No. You should never kill yourself for a show.
No, there's no money worth
slowly again for the
messing up your back. Yeah.
Yeah. So the difference between a director and a fight director is, like, for example, so if we were doing the Three Musketeers, the director would do the overall story and we'd come in to do all the fight choreography. So it's like, oh, in the tavern, they're going to do this brawl. Okay. So how many people is it? A 3 versus 3 fight? Like guards versus the Three Musketeers. And then maybe D'Artagnan flies in at the end. We would come in, choreograph that, make sure it's sustainable. They can do it night after night.
We'll coordinate with the director if they want like specific beats within the fight. Like we really want a moment over here with, like, I don't know, like the cup, or specifically we want this moment. We need to see this moment. We need this line in here. So we'll kind of like track out the rhythm of the fight and the beats of the fight with the director, and then kind of build around that.
And make sure that the fight makes sense, right? Like if we were thinking about the underdog story, it's like, oh, we want to make it seem like this character's not going to make it. And then the surprise is, by luck or by, some sort of skill, or they just end up getting the advantage. The other show that we got to do, which was really cool, again, when we get to collaborate and like work with either the playwright and the director, we did a show called Grandma Gangster Gorilla, and it's actually about a Filipino grandma, like this like old granny who comes out and just like kicks a bunch of ass, but she has dementia. And what was really cool is the opening fight is her not remembering, and she's at the nursing home, and it turns into like basically a Mortal Kombat fight in her realm. And so she fights with like slippers and stuff like that, and she wrote in, she's like, maybe like she throws the vase or whatever, and so we had to like talk with props and all these things and be like, okay, so what is available, what can we do, can we honor some of the playwrights requests, while making sure we have the stuff for production
for a breakaway vase every night,
every night, because like those are the things that we have to consider, right? Like we had a show actually which was very lovely. We got to work with Karen Bassett's piece, and one of the things that ends up happening in the first called Heroine, it's about the pirates Anne Bonny and Mary Read, and one of the first opening things was like a tearaway sleeve, and again it's just like working with costumes and being like, how do we do this night after night, and like making sure we get all these things, like again we're collaborating with so many different things, so fight directors help that part of the production.
Okay. Wow, that's like such a different world I would have thought about. So the director might come to you asking how to pull off certain scenes or sequences. And you have to think about if it's practical and if it's safe, and how long it will be to train.
Exactly, and work with the actors to make sure they can pull it off night after night with intention. Like that's the biggest thing for us for stage combat, because we always talk about like our art form. So for example, Romeo and Juliet, you have this beautiful text, but then you also have like this kind of weird fight, and then beautiful text, and then this kind of
another weird fight.
And we want to be like, no, the fights are there because, again, this is very like musical theater. You fight because you can't speak anymore, right? It's like you sing because you can't talk anymore. Same thing with fights. So we are always trying to figure out, like, if we are doing Romeo and Juliet, like it is important that the fight comes from their emotions, come from that heightened emotion. So that's why I think stage combat is actually quite special, because not only do you have to make sure you zone into your partner, make them look so good, but you even through high emotion, like higher rage or high like anger, revenge, whatever those emotions are, you're going at someone with like still like steel. Like it's blunted, safe for stage, blunted. But again, the margin of error, there is still risk. Like there is still risk to it. So our whole job is to be like, okay, when you are at that high emotion, high adrenaline, can you still look at your partner, go through the fight, look like you want to kill them, like kill the crap out of them, but you come off the stage still being friends. And so that's always the goal for us, is like, we really want to make sure that you're not saying Romeo and Juliet, weird fight, Romeo and Juliet, but you're saying Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's cool. That's so neat. We could probably have a whole chat just about that.
Yeah.
But so when you get doing your own show, you get to bring in your stage combat training with. Did you start out as writers or directors, like, and generally?
Both started as like actors.
Okay.
Both started as actors. I jumped into the stage combat training immediately after my post-secondary as like, well, let me like try to just acquire another skill, and just went headfirst down the rabbit hole. Nathania did a bunch of training on her own as well.
Yeah. And then throughout the years when I first started, I started to do just like very indie kind of like writing. So like one of my first pieces that I wrote was called the Pick-Me-Ups. And then when we started to see the need for it, and again, like I did a lot of improv and like got trained in some sketch comedy stuff. And one of the things that was really interesting is like I've always known I like to write. And then again, when we finally formed the company, it was really important for us to be like, okay, so what is it? How do we write these pieces for us? And
how do we make, specifically thinking of playthings, and then also, again, this one, how do we justify having so many different weapon systems on stage that isn't just kind of like a cabaret of like, and now it's this, and now it's this, and now it's this. Like there has to be a through line. Like the audience has to start to care about these actors. Otherwise it just becomes like exhausting.
Yeah, totally. And especially for like beyond stage combat, one of the things, as we know for actors, is we're always trying to represent some type of life, right? And so one of the things for us is like we are actually representing martial arts. And one of the things about martial arts is about a discipline and a practice. So it's like, what is the style? What are the things that we're doing? How does the weapon move? We're trying to honor that. And sometimes, again, like Jackie was saying, sometimes they might not fit in what the scene is, but what we love about multiverses is really trying to bend that. So it's just like,
it's very
what
strange.
would it be to have spies fighting over a hard drive, but they have rapier and daggers, right? Like, how do we kind of play with that and just justify so that we can keep like bending things and just kind of showcasing what we can do and like what stage combat can be, especially because we have like over 37 weapons, including our arms and feet. So in this whole show.
Okay. That's cool.
So, yeah.
Maybe we can talk a bit more about how technology comes into the show.
Yeah, we were fascinated by how quickly our productivity plummeted when the new Zelda games would come out.
We're talking Switch games?
Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild.
And like we played like the remake of Skyward Sword and
we
stuff.
did.
Anything
while we were waiting for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. But it just kind of became fascinating because again, we live in Vancouver. There's incredible hikes and beautiful scenery, and we would get so engrossed in these like false little worlds, and it was so much more satisfying because it's so much faster. And we're like, this is fascinating that we can just lose an entire day.
Oh, literally, we're like, we didn't eat lunch.
We didn't eat lunch.
We didn't eat dinner. I tried to like every time I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, like 5 more minutes. I think I can make it. Okay, I gotta go now.
We're like, okay, this is fascinating. What's happening to us about this game? Let's try to like write a show about that. Let's incorporate this.
Yeah. And also just like, I think if I can talk to my own experience, we will have like a very long day, and I know the best thing to do is like, you need a good night's sleep, but then I'll just like hit my phone and like just
revenge,
scroll,
procrastination,
whatever they call revenge. But I remember being like, okay, like I'm going to do a few to like unwind, relax. And then I'll look at my phone and it's been like 2 hours. You get into that vibe of just like scroll, watch, and just like, so that was also very fascinating of being like, oh, like sometimes the best thing is just to kind of be present and do your things. But right now, like this is more comforting. Being in my phone and scrolling is kind of more comforting than anything else right now.
And not giving too much away, but like how we can like go completely internal and separate ourselves from people when we can hide behind a screen when we've got like hard stuff going on out there, and how much easier it is to just be like, you know what? I just need to feel successful in something right now, so I'm going to just collect mushrooms and beat up a Lionel, and that's going to be my joy for right now.
Well, that was very funny too, because we got to go outside.
Yeah.
We finally did again, we live in Vancouver, and if Tall Mark was here, he'd be like, you guys are so silly, because he's very much about be in nature, be out, be like it's adventure, true. Like wanderlust, all this stuff. And we finally did the Chief for the first time, and it's literally like, oh, it's in Squamish, it's beautiful. And we stood there and we're like, oh, how would Link like fly down this
literally
mountain?
like thinking of the real world in a video game. It's like, oh my God, can we just be present for a second? crazy.
Yeah. So
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So so the distraction of the phone. I mean, it's kind of shocking sometimes when you see like your screen time report and you're like 7 hours. No way.
Yeah. Or like it's gone up this week. You're like, oh no, I was trying to be better. Yeah.
It's interesting too because I mean, you started it off by talking about Zelda, which is like a magnificent piece of art as well.
Gorgeous,
stunning.
Every time we play it, like we've clocked in too many hours. I'm not going to tell you how many.
No, it's embarrassing.
But we like every time we sit there, we go, "This is so beautiful." I love to cook. It's like silly. Like again, like it's not like I'm always like I'll spend like. This is embarrassing. 3 hours finding rice. Like it's so bad. Like what am I doing? And like I will literally get up and be like, "What was my day today?"
It's true, and it's true because it is. It's the most beautiful open world, almost like no limitation game that I've ever experienced.
Gorgeous,
so.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. My wife was
appreciating. Appreciating art. That's what we're doing.
That's exactly right. That's what my wife said when she got all the Korok seeds. She was like, "I appreciated the game."
Oh my gosh, I am on.
I just got a little jealous. That's bad.
That's badass.
Yeah, she's into those games. That's funny. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so so is the show? Let me just scroll down here quickly. Is the show more so focused on, without giving too much away, the negativity of technology, or do you kind of like?
Oh, not necessarily. No. It's kind of like the vehicle that we use to kind of like help propel the story forward.
And we also believe in like balance, right? I think the biggest thing that we just want to like hopefully get to the audience is just like when you can be in the moment, like reach out and connect with people more. I think sometimes in high schools too, and again, like, being a little hypocritical because we are still trying to manage like how the phone has taken over our lives. But we, like junior high teachers or high school teachers go, at lunch, it's weird seeing them sit right beside each other, not necessarily talking to each other, but being on their phones. Like they're like, they're not necessarily communicating without physically communicating. And so, again, like not knocking, what technology has done to us, but I think it's also just a kind reminder of just like making sure you do live your life classically, smell the roses, like, hug your loved ones, spend time with them, like that quality time that you can have outside of like, screen time. I think we talk about how much screen time do our kids get? Like how much screen time do we also get? Like what are we actually clocking in and, Yeah.
I don't know. I just heard this the other day, but I can't remember where I heard it, but someone said like, if you ever want to, they found it interesting that if you ever want to see a parent engage with a younger child or a new child, watch how quickly they engage with the child when the kid grabs their phone, and like the instant attention and quick reaction time. and I was like, that's kind of an interesting little thing to notice. You know what I mean? Like
that is crazy.
Because they could be grabbing like a cup or whatever, but as soon as the phone gets grabbed, it's like,
no. Oh, yeah. Crud. Oh, wow.
Just interesting.
Yeah.
So, quickly here, we only got a couple minutes left here, but the stage combat. So, when you're training someone to use a new weapon, is the goal? It probably isn't always the goal, but to make them look competent or like advanced. Like it must take a while for an actor to look like they know what they're doing.
Definitely. I mean, yes, goal is always, depending on character, looking competent or whatever. Like, again, like D'Artagnan or like underdog person who needs to look kind of crummy versus like a Tybalt who is supposed to be very, very efficient. And it depends on time. And like Nathania was kind of bringing up earlier, negotiating how much time we have, the skill of the actor that we have in the room will kind of also inform the type of choreography that we can give. Because if we know a person is kind of like struggling with the weapon or whatever, we'll keep it as simple as we can if we have to show that competency. But the big one that we really, really try, and like us as a company, what we really like to do even before we jump into choreo is give the actors like a quick workshop just so they can like hold the weapon for the first time or do some actions for the first time. So they're not already in their head about like, I've got this job to do, I have to do this choreo, and they start panicking. Cause that's usually what I've seen happen is an actor will panic and start fretting about like, opening night and we're like, it's week 1 of rehearsal. Like, it's okay. We can relax. You've got time. But we really try to arm them as best we can, with, how to use the weapon or whatever it is they have to do to understand the safeties. Is the big one. And give them accessible, choreography that isn't going to make them look goofy if they have to look cool, right?
And again, 100% of our job is to make you look good. Like, that's us. And it comes from actually, like, again, for the people in the back, it's always about the safety. Like, if you feel safe, you will be able to throw yourself in your emotion. You'll be able to throw yourself into the fight, because, night after night, you'll walk off stage without anybody fearing for, like, again, we don't have any kind of facial protection or anything like that. This is not stunts. Stunts, you get to, like, reset for the camera, and you get to either have more PPE or, like, personal protection, like armadillos and things. And so it's, again, for our actors, we really do. And that's the thing with us. Like, I think, one of the things we can be really honored about our company is that we really work with where people are at and make them feel empowered in their body. 'Cause that's what we want to do. It's
that's the goal.
Isn't that amazing that your body can do this? And whenever we start any show, especially if we have, like, if it's us two or even an ensemble, one of the big things that we say to our actors is, like, what's your goal for the show? And we've had people who've been like, I just want to touch my toes, to I want to do a wall flip. Like, that's the spectrum. And we go, yes, absolutely. And we go, hey, maybe you weren't able to do the wall flip in this show, but the thing is like, how cool was it for you to start to build the strength, learn the skill, learn how to work it? Because, again, like martial arts, it's a repetition. It's about doing your parries and doing your lunges and thrusts on your own time.
Your shapes. And we have had actors both in our shows and actors in other shows that we've worked with. It's made my heart very happy, that have, like, wanted to keep with a practice, and they've, like, gotten a sword for themselves, or they've gotten, like, different weapons, and they're like, hey, I really like this skill that I started, and I'd like to keep it up.
Yeah, I think what was really sweet was we got a message from one of our big bads in one of our shows called The Five Vengeances, and he got to work with a Chinese broadsword, and his wife bought him one for his birthday, and he literally sent us a video of him in the park going, I'm like, because the cool thing about, like, Chinese swords is they make these really cool sounds.
Okay.
Yeah, they snap.
They snap, and he just like right in the park. It was just so fun to see that, and the joy, right? Yeah. And we haven't seen him in like a year. It was like just such a nice video to get.
Wow, that's so cool. There must be moments. There must be moments like on opening show or opening night, like, or are there moments where, like, the adrenaline takes over, and then, like, one person is acting really intense and other people are feeling unsafe, but you're like, it's literally the night of a show.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you deal with that sort of situation? That
can happen. The big thing that we also try to arm the actors and production with is how to talk about when things do go wrong. Because as we talked about, like, there is inherent risk. We're doing choreography that's violent. But how actors can communicate if something's gone wrong. Like, we kind of work in umbrellas of safeties. Like, say, if they're flinching in a moment for real as the human underneath the character, they can talk to their partner and go, hey, like, I'm feeling like I'm actually close to getting hit. Can we look at our safety here? And if we've done our job well, they can be, oh yeah, I don't think I was waiting for you to be gone before I was going. Can we look at that in fight call?
Yeah.
And same with even like stage management or the fight captain. Like, it's their job to kind of look at something and be like, hey, this went funny. We need to look at this before the show today in fight call, because you need to touch all the fights before the show.
And if there is anything, like, all fight directors are available and on the horn to just make sure we can be there too. But we know we've done a successful job is when they can be in that moment and actually, like, communicate with each other and be like, okay, good. Let's now for this show, let's figure that out. But we try to really work that into when we're working with people, being like, yeah, show adrenaline is crazy.
It happens
all the time. It's just like, and also how we are day to day. We talk about, like, feeling your energy levels. Like, we're like, if you don't feel like rolling or doing whatever the choreography is for that night, it's theater. Like, don't do it. and then talk to your
about
stage
it before the
management
show.
after.
Yeah.
Like, and like, again, bumps and bruises will happen. Like, when you first start to roll, there's something called what we call the basic bruise, because you kind of roll funny and you end up like bruising the shoulder blade.
Once you got it, you got it.
Once you got it, you got it. And I remember there was one show where that happened to one of the actors, and we're like, okay, we're revamping this whole opening. So until this person's shoulder is better, and we're going to make sure we do this. And then you'll let us know when we go revert to the original. Like, that's really important for us. And so, yeah, when we talk about show adrenaline in workshops, we go, yeah, it's important to know that you might get tired and the other person in front of you might be like having the best night because mom and dad are in there, maybe, you know, the person they're trying to impress. And we go, but even with that, it's like, can you tune into your partner? Can you make sure you two are safe? Like, that's a marker for even the actors to be like, now you understand what stage combat can be. It's like you have all these levels of things working around you, your emotion, your acting, the things, but then also, like you said, the outside things of adrenaline and audience. How do you make sure that you can still have that hard-hitting fight, but you still come out feeling like that was awesome?
Safe, yeah.
I don't feel unsafe at all. We killed that fight.
That's cool. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
What a strange world. That's so
Yeah.
neat.
It is a strange world. Yeah.
Cool.
There's times when we've like literally come off stage and been like, that was a good show.
That was a good one.
Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah.
It was spicy.
It was spicy, but it was good, right? Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So that's Multiverses. Tonight you're at BMO Theater at 10 p.m.
We are 10 p.m. And then tomorrow, again, I don't know how this is going to be because we feel like everybody wants to take this workshop, but we have a workshop tomorrow at 6.
Okay.
So we'll see how that's going to go because we keep getting messages of being like, I'm going to come to the workshop. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but if you're interested, we'd love to have you all. It's at 6 p.m. at the BMO studio as well.
And that's after you, because you're performing tomorrow at 4:30.
At 4:30.
Stick around for the workshop.
Stick around for the workshop.
We'll wipe off the sweat and then we'll teach you how to sweat.
Okay.
Show you how we sweat.
Do folks need to sign up for the workshop or just kind of hang around?
You can you sign up in the in like the Fringe lobby. It's at the BMO.
Yes, and I feel like
downstairs.
first come, first serve. I think I'm scared that we're gonna have to. Yeah, so sign up now. You can do it in the lobby.
Yeah, go in person in the lobby.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you might run out of space.
Yeah.
And then the final performance is Saturday at 5:30.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're already there.
It's so fast.
Happens so fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Halifax next week?
Halifax
next week. We have 10 shows.
10
shows.
10 chances to see it. Yes.
We're organizing one, date and information, TBD.
TBD. And that one will be hopefully a 2-hour one. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, speaking of TBD, how can people track your movements or contact you? Or
Track us.
Biggest one is Instagram. We're super active on Instagram. Our handle is at Affair of Honor. We spell the honor HONOR. It's a long story. And same thing on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at Affair of Honor Fighters.
And then we have a website, www.affairofhonor.ca. Because we really hope to come back out here again. We definitely want to have more connections to the East Coast. So find us.
Yeah, bring us back.
leave good reviews and invite you back for next year.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to nerd out, especially about Zelda. We can talk about
video games.
Tears of the Kingdom a long time.
Yeah, we could just go do a side interview on Zelda. Yeah, we could bring Brandon in if Brandon's listening right now.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my God.
Thumbs up from Brandon. Yeah. Okay. Maybe, is there any, not to put you on the spot, but is there any song you want me to throw to?
Oh my gosh. Oh, is any genre okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you have to do Space Jam because that's a huge one. Everybody get up.
Like the theme song.
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, Space Jam is queued up.
You know. No,
that's so good. Okay, well, thanks a lot. So let's just go run through the times again one more quickly here. So tonight at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
at the BMO Theater. Tomorrow at 4:30, followed by the workshop if you're lucky enough to sign up, and then Saturday at 5:30.
5:30.
Yes.
Awesome.
Come New Brunswick.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Really appreciate you swinging by.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.